go to L.
You
So
can't do custom functions. Maximum you can do
yeah,
is you can reuse content blocks. That's it. But then yeah,
yeah,
so
content block
that's the
also, but internally the same function you are going
same
to call.
function only. Yeah, you can't do
Yeah.
much. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
More
in
from the reusability standpoint is what I was looking at. I tell people like you want to write your custom function, you can do like you
mm,
can reuse that code in
yeah,
multiple places. You can do
multiple.
and with especially with now with integration JSON and all that
Mm,
you if even if you have AMP script you have to anyway depend upon SSJS at some point in time if you want to
yeah,
handle JSON.
yeah.
Otherwise you have to use GPL. Yeah. So
Yeah, even try and catch. Now, if you have to incorporate, then you have to bring SSJS, right?
yeah.
Now, yeah. So this actually this point, like when I was doing AMP script, now I want to, because I come from a .NET, and when we create interfaces, inheritance, and all this. So for me, every interface is like I can do polymorphism, and I can do pass the parameters and do different things. Yeah, that is where my pain point was. And suddenly one day, what happened was, somehow I don't remember how I went to Greek's blog, but some way, like either in Google or some reference, somebody giving, like I don't know. So I went there, and the way he has written there, okay, now it started giving me goosebumps, you know. So from there itself, like I was like like a big fan of. I didn't knew his name nor anything. Like I knew Gorgiton. Gorgiton was true way famous. Okay, so even Salesforce architect, like if I raise a ticket, uh, and I am not able to solve it, I ask them
Same.
now. Once they give a solution, okay, then my simple question will be, how did you arrive to this solution? A simple
Mm.
answer to the architect. Those people, there are a lot of very generous Salesforce architects. They didn't hide it. They said, I went to this stack, okay, stack exchange this flow, and here the Gorgiton has given an answer. Every time then I said, Gorgiton, Gorgiton, Gorgiton. So
Yeah.
this
So
man
yes,
is
so
totally genius.
Greg, Adam, Elliot, they're all like some of the old contributors.
Old.
Lucas is
Mm,
from Salesforce, so I've seen some
mm,
of their awesome, like Jonas. So most of the questions that people ask right nowadays, I always see that okay, it's probably in one form or the other, it will be there in Stack Exchange. It's just a matter
yeah.
of how you know how to search it. You will get some idea of like how to solve it, if not the exact answer, at least some
Mm.
idea you will get. Then you can go and try it out. So that's what.
Yeah, so that's what I was when I was discussing with Cameron also. I saying like in marketing cloud also we have like childhood stage, adolescent stage, and then adult. Okay,
Right.
so childhood, definitely if you go to AmScript guide, you'll get all the answers. Okay, so but not many people will understand where Adam is. Okay, but they will go to the authors tab, and they will see, okay, they know the name, but what he has contributed, a lot of people might not know. But if somebody becomes an adolescent to adult, okay,
Yeah.
then he will always find Adam's GitHub repository where he has done so many beautiful stuff. Then people
Yeah.
will understand what Adam is, and he is so quiet. So that
True. True.
I try to sometimes pinch him sometimes to let him speak. I make him speak in sometimes, but I'll try to pinch him a lot. Someday I'll try to at least make a conversation with him, because I know initially I used to feel little afraid with Greek also, because he was more like a guru for me, right?
Mhm.
So how can you approach a guru? Is little how you going to say what, even a single line of if I have to write a single statement also, I have to think 10 times what I'm writing. I don't want to make some kind of a bad impression.
Yeah. No, but that is where he is very good, right? He never comes and ridicules you and tells you like, no, hey, what kind of code you have written like that. He will nicely say, okay, yeah, why don't you try this one? Maybe you can do it in a better way. So that is very nice. Like it actually helps you. Like, no, he's very willing to help. He will never say like, okay, no. Like if he's busy, he will say he's busy. Let me take a look at it. I'll come back later. So that
Mm,
very, very great mindset of him. And many of the leaders are like very good like that. So when you see them are like they are actually helping you, then why can't we
mm.
help? Like so,
Oh
and
my
that's
God.
what that
True.
actually helps us to give back to communities. So, yeah.
True. Oh, actually, what happens with Greek is like if he found something wrong, what I've written, or if I said something wrong, if I've said something, okay, in the answer something, if he finds that, he doesn't come and point mistakes. What
Mm.
he'll do is he'll ping me, okay, and he'll say, Sasi, I think this is what it used to be before.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can see if this is the way it happens, or maybe marketing cloud has changed and they have
He
changed.
changed something, right? Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it is
Very
so beautiful.
diplomatically, he will say
Uh,
like, it's not saying that telling, making, pointing out and say you're missing. We just confirm, right? This is what I know from before. Did it change?
uh,
Maybe just check. Like, so it's another point of
exactly.
validating. No? So then he will also learn. What if it actually changed? Maybe you are
Yeah.
looking at the latest one, so he will also get to learn from that. So that is the most appreciative part about me. He's also very humble in that kind of way. Like, so you
Yeah.
learn from that.
Yeah, exactly. Like that time when he pinged me and said, "Sasi, with this journey builder, I think this." I said, I was 100% confident. Actually, from my side, I was 100% confident. Okay, but when he gave gave a saying that, Sasi, I think this. I said, no, but I have studied this. These are documentation. I posted the documentation also. But he said, but I still feel, but something has changed. Then maybe they have changed. I have to taste it. I said, I asked him, if you have if found something, please let me know. Okay, I asked him, like, if you found something, if what is, let me know. But I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure. Okay. Then one day I was crossing the going to buy something, but whatever he said, because like somebody like Greek is saying, then I said, he is not someone who is going to joke with you. Okay? Something is serious that I have to look into. Yeah.
Mm.
His approach is obviously it can't be compared with anyone with anything. The way he approaches or the way he does, that's totally different. A lot of big thing that's happening here. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. So, how is your daily day happens in your office? Like, what you do in your day to day?
So my role is slightly different. Like, if I tell people, like, that if people think I work in marketing cloud projects, which is not the case. I am actually a senior director with UST. I kind of look at all of APAC, right? So we're a global team. So I kind of, like, help with the growth of the region operations, but delivery also. Like, I have a big practice team that I take care of. So I have people across the regions. Uh, Quite a bit in Malaysia and India as well. Look, so one of the reasons why I'm in Malaysia, but then I kind of visit them, like, I help them with our projects, implementations, new things, new initiatives, and things. I look at, like, how we can help the clients and our teams also. So that is kind of my portfolio. So part of that, like, when you are in that senior position, you have to look at multiple things. Like, this, it's not just only marketing, right?
Mm,
Marketing is one of my passions. Like, I mean, one of the things in
yeah.
within Salesforce, like, if you, I mean, there is no compelling reason. Nobody, my boss does not come and tell me you have to sit and study marketing cloud, do it. It's nothing like that. It was one of the passions that I had, that I found there is a need for it. And then not only marketing, even if you see, like, you also told, like, LWC, right? When that came out, I was very intrigued. And we
Mm,
will actually, people who have done web programming in our earlier
mm,
days, we will resonate very fast. More than
mm,
Apex, like, I learned LWC more faster because it is like straightforward web programming. If you know, you have done,
mm,
you know JavaScript, you can come in, you can start learning, you can then come from there, you can come into the Salesforce world, and you can see how it backend you can go Apex and things. So I used to tell people, like, guys, especially new folks who are coming into our ecosystem, juniors who are coming and learning. I tell guys, if you know a little bit of web development, this is how you can learn. So
mm,
uh, that is the things that I look for. Like, I will look at like, pre-sales areas. I will look at delivery areas. I will look at, like, how new initiatives you have to bring in, not only for the company but also for the community in the region. So yeah, I look at Malaysia and Southeast Asia, different regions. We look at how to make the community better. Because Salesforce, I'll tell you, like, when I came into Malaysia about 11 years back, the number of people who knew Salesforce here was very low. Today,
mm,
I'm very happy to say that, we have a good sizable community in Malaysia. In other regions also, I can see it has developed a bit, but that we want to make it more. Like, in Europe and in Americas, Australia and all, we have seen there are a lot of people who know, right? But Southeast Asia is slowly coming up, and the companies have caught up now. Many companies have all Salesforce, but there's not enough local people who know that, and we want to
mm.
spread that. We want to make sure, like, we have a more vibrant community. We want to, like, see how we can give back to the ecosystem and things like that. So
Ah,
that's an additional thing that we have to look at, like, besides our regular job. So you don't get any incentive for that. It's, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's your satisfaction that you get out of it. So that's what.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah. I don't know. Somehow, I feel like I don't relate a lot of things with you, but somehow, like when I had a discussion with Josna, a lot of things I related with Josna. I feel like, yeah, okay, what you're saying, I agree. When I did with Cameron, I was like, yeah, what he's saying is, I feel the same. No, something that is resonating with you is like I have a lot of friends. Okay, they want to do some business, and they say, now I'm marketing cloud. Now I tell them like how marketing cloud strategy helps the ROI. Okay,
Yeah.
so all the conversation happens, and I say I'll try to see like there are a lot of juniors in my town, in my Kolkata and all, right? Then I feel like uh, and every time I feel like posting everything into my college community also. I'm trying to introduce them, say, don't only think about .NET or Java. Think about Salesforce, and very easy way out for you guys, because we come from Jalpaiguri Engineering College, okay, and we have very good students there, very good student. So government college, in India. So that's why try to basically advocate market Salesforce, and I always post there and say, guys, listen. So that's been happening with me as well. Uh, the other thing, what I feel was like the most interesting part that happens here in marketing cloud is mm, not people, everybody is able to relate that marketing cloud is not a warehouse, data warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you need to only bring those records which you want to basically engage. You
Mm.
don't require historical data, right? And so when now I know that I was when I was going through your profile that you from you are the EMEA head, right? And
APAC,
we are
APAC,
looking for the EMEA, right?
APAC,
So
APAC,
sorry,
Asia.
APAC. My yeah,
It's
this is all every time
you're
I
in
do this.
India. No worries. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah. What happens is sometimes what I think and what I write, or sometimes what I speak, it totally is
Yes.
non-coherent. Yeah. Sometimes
No,
I write in answer in Trellit also. What happens is I'm thinking something, but I've written something because my mind has worked faster than my typing.
because we are thinking multiple things in our head, like, okay, this is how I'm solutioning it, but we are writing something. Yeah, it happens. No worries. No worries.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, yeah, I was asking you, like, when you meet your clients, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
when you discuss about marketing cloud for a project, so what happens with this data part? Like, how you say that, okay, we are going to integrate with your legacy portals, right? Legacy websites and everything.
Hmm.
But this is what marketing cloud is, and this does not require all this such data here. We only require communication data that we are going to engage with the customer data.
Yeah, that is something that we have to tell them with like data and best practices, right? So what I
Mm.
usually try to do is like, no, so nothing comes free. Okay, even
Mm.
marketing cloud, if you want like data to be brought in, then you end up like spending money for storage. So some things may not be immediately, they will not think it. Customers, if you tell them in terms of money, they will understand. If you tell them simply like that, they will not understand. Simply you say a
Mm.
statement, they say no. Why it's I'm paying for it that time. The moment you say, okay, if you we can do it, but if you do that, you end up spending $100,000 extra. Are you okay? Then they'll say no, that is not possible. Like,
Okay.
want to save the money. So then they say, okay, what is the other way to do it? Like, so even not only to the customers, also like even to team members and like people that I usually train. You asked earlier, like automation studio, why it is very good. Like one of the automations with the scenarios that I usually train people is one scenario that I give, and I give
Mm.
this specific scenario where I ask like, okay, solution this, okay, and
Mm.
in that I have asked for a condition, like and many times what people when first time when they're doing it, they will say, yeah, we will bring all the data in, and then we will do the filtering in inside marketing cloud. Then my
Mm.
immediate question to them, why don't you ask them to give you the filtered data already? Why do you want to bring the full data? Like, oh, can
Mm.
we do that? I said, that is how you're supposed to do. Why are you bringing in like, 1 year worth of data or 3 years worth of data just for 7 days what you want? That's not
Mm.
required. Okay, it's a very small amount of data that you want for that. Don't bring in millions of records. So
Mm.
that thing, even if you instill that within team members that you're training and the people who are doing the work, then that message will actually get trickled up also. Like, so and
Mm.
sometimes customers don't know. they will depend upon people who are implementing to tell them, guys, no, 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 that is not the right practice, right? No? So these things,
Mm,
when we train, we are also supposed to make sure we tell them best practices, guys. Whenever you get a question like this, make sure, like, no, you look at the value of it. Do you really want to bring in that data? Can you
mm,
bring in the all the filtered data, only the relevant data that you want? Even if you bring it, if it's not relevant after 1 week, take it out.
mm,
Because what's the point of keeping it in marketing, right? Those are things like we will look at. Now,
yeah.
the most recent things that we have seen, Shashi, is like on Genie, CDP, and all that.
Mm,
I was reading upon it like on the other day because I got we had a recent proposal for Genie and CDP and things like that. Because I've seen CDP, we have worked a bit on CDP as well. Genie is a little more interesting because of the new features, things that they bring to the platform, especially the support for Snowflake. Okay, so I was
mm,
reading up
mm,
that like recently, like it is not GA yet. I think they're planning to come out with that. So they have this zero something zero code architecture, something like that. I forgot the actual name for it. Meaning you don't have to zero data architecture. I think so. You don't have to bring
okay.
the data into Marketing Cloud. Okay,
Mm,
you can have it in Snowflake. It will read the
mm,
data directly from Snowflake and then get whatever you need, from that perspective, from CDP. You don't
yeah,
have to bring it, those kind of things.
yeah.
So uh, things like these are coming in, so people
Mm,
understand. So you can help. Why are we doing things like that? Because
mm,
for every storage thing, it is not going free. Everything has a cost to it. So once you
mm,
make people understand the technology is there that can help resolve customers' problems, great. So I think it's moving in the right way. Hopefully,
yeah.
this will help.
Oh, yeah, I could relate with related to snowflakes what you said, because in
Yeah.
one of our project they were using snowflakes for
Yeah.
segmentation.
Yeah.
So the segmentation part is done in the snowflakes and then
Mm.
it's pushed into marketing cloud.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So yeah, I was trying to explain this to someone, but maybe I'll now I'll say go and watch
In
the
terms
video.
of
You will get
money,
answer.
yeah. See, everything. See, you look at it from their perspective, right? Their
Mm,
requirement is this. I don't care how you do it, but the moment you tell it in money terms, like, okay, you can do it in this way,
mm,
it'll cost you more. Why can't you do it
mm,
in less cost? Then you'll have to do it this way. What is the okay?
mm,
What is the impact because of that? Will I lose some capability? No, it'll be same. The only difference is this. Okay, no problem. So there's a way how you
yeah.
convey things, and how it needs to be conveyed. If you talk
Mm,
in developer terms, they will not understand. You talk in like financial terms, yeah, you can
yeah.
you can go.
Yeah,
Yes.
to bring the data, obviously, like why we don't need to bring the data or something on that. Yeah, so next time I'm definitely going with the money terms, because the only caveat is actually you don't know the amount that charged by Salesforce. They have their own agile methodology of
Yeah,
different.
so the only thing is you have to ask like, okay, if I'm bringing in this much amount of storage, you can ask like, okay,
Mm,
ask your Salesforce AE, will I get charged for extra storage? If this AE says no, you
mm,
can have unlimited storage, no problem. If they commit to that, no problem. Keep it over there, no
mm,
issues. But I'm 100% sure they are going to come back and say, no, no, we cannot give you storage for free. At some point, we will start charging you. Then
uh,
customer will say, no, no, that we cannot do. Same thing.
yeah, yeah. This is one of the good thing that I think how it has to be conveyed to the clients, so that they understand that we don't have to bring everything here. Now, a follow up is here is, so let's say you brought a project, okay, which was initially developed by some other company, okay,
Mm,
some like say either it's Accenture or some PwC or someone. Now you brought it, okay, and your team started saying that they have done so many these things. Now how should I cope up with this, because there is a lot of, because I think I don't know if that is quite true or not, but what happens is, um, the project is it has been the ownership has been changed. Initially it was
yes.
by another company. Now obviously there is some caveats to bringing to the another company, maybe the
Mm,
cost factor or maybe the other reasons as well, right?
yeah.
So let's consider this, that lot of use case they have developed. Okay. Uh, Now when you create the new use cases, okay, on top of it, you find lot of issues that is
Mm,
happening. So
mm,
one important thing was the primary key lane, okay, in the data
mm,
extension. It plays a very vital role with the optimization, right? No, and what I see is most of the people they have a habit of keeping it to 55. Everybody I see they have maintained to 55 to 55 to 55 somehow. Okay. but mostly it is like if you're bringing the contact ID or contact data is 18 maximum 18, right? So if somebody comes to you and say there is so many optimization issues, how should I now start changing this optimization? So how will you go with this approach?
So this is where, like, this senior consultant or architect actually, like, plays a vital role, right? See, definitely, like, when you take over an existing org, I'm not saying like it's going to be very good. Like, there will be challenges. Some might be like great, nicely done. There might be some challenges to it. You have to, like, the when you get a new org, you have to, like, first look at, okay, if there is, I doubt, like, people usually have very good documentation. Some companies keep, some depends on the client policies and things like that. 99% of the time you will not find that, okay, or they might
Mm,
not even give it to you because they are leaving, they will not give it to you, right? So two things you have to do. One is, like, within the short period of time you should be able to understand the existing system, have a team that actually goes and starts working on the day-to-day activities to sustain what the customer wants, okay. You should actually have a separate team, like, another one or two people who's invested in going and understanding, like, okay, the current architecture and seeing where we need to refactor few things. Because
mm,
if you don't have a certain amount of things that is actually going to set the foundation right, whatever your other team is now going to build in the next 6 months, it will start failing. See, there
mm,
could be multiple reasons why it was actually brought on. Maybe because of the way they did it, or like you said, maybe it's because of the cost. Some could be there, but they will not probably tell you. Okay,
yeah.
so you have to approach it in a two-pronged thing where you have to have somebody always assess, like, okay, whatever am I getting, in what condition am I getting it? Is it healthy enough? Okay, if you don't do that assessment, but the other part is also problematic. Let's say you say, and you will say, "Oh, I am not going to do any development on this till I do the org assessment and I make everything perfect." If you say that, the customer will throw you out because they have
Mm,
day-to-day business they need to run, right?
um,
So which is where it's a delicate balance that you have to, like, figure out how to do it, like, so which is why I'm saying that role of that architect or that consultant is very crucial. They have
mm,
to find and see, like, okay, how much of things can we continue to do without breaking the existing system, which are the critical ones we need to address first so that the system goes steady, like, so there are multiple things you can do. You can do short term ones, long term ones, that goes into your backlog, okay, and that is
mm,
your architecture runway or the refactoring things that you need to address. Some things you may not be finding out immediately, it may come later on. And
mm,
every architect, like, from their experiences, will have certain things they will do, like a pre-checklist or some best practices things that when you get an org, these are things I should look for. These are
true.
no-nos. These are preferably do not recommended, things like that. So these red alert things you should start looking for when you're getting an org. And
Mm,
this you should tell the customer. You should tell upfront, okay, we have taken 1 week, we have assessed the org, these are the things that we have found out, these are the things we want to do in the next 1 month, these are things we need to do in the next 3 months, these are in the next 6 9 months. So that roadmap you have to give for the refactoring part. The rest
mm,
you can say, okay, then the other team can continue to work on your campaigns, your automation things. We will try to make sure these go together in parallel without breaking your system. But it should be very evident to the customer that you're bringing in the value, why you're brought in, and what you're trying to do,
um,
without pinpointing that, okay, the previous customer. That you should never do. Okay,
mm,
they may be good, they may be not. That is fine. Whatever you have
mm.
to get to work with, make sure whatever you're getting is something that you can sustain. That is the primary thing. But make sure that two
Ah,
prong is there.
yeah, yeah. The what you said just now, like I was listening very carefully what you're saying, and I was able to relate one thought about when I was working closely with my one of my director with a one project, and I was a junior architect there, and the senior architects went to the do the assessment and all. They created a document and everything, and I read through all the document and I find it is not good. Like the project wise, I'm a junior guy, right? So I said, whatever they have written is not good for me. So why are you bringing this project? This is not going to sustain long for a long time because there's a lot of loopholes there. So he said, let's go for a coffee. Okay. And I went there, I went with him, and he explained me like how the directors and people there, it gave me a very big visibility of how they think. So he said like this is a globe, like this project is like a globe, and globe has a lot of holes into it. Okay. Now when we bring a project, what we try to do is we try to fill that holes just to make it stable. so that
Yeah.
the loopholes are closed. Once it becomes closed, and then it becomes a success for us, and then we go and say, okay, we have closed everything now you can thrive on. Now we are going to do more exploration. Uh, then I thought like, okay, this is so a junior developer a developer, okay, and how the directors think. Then I understood like, okay, there is a very big difference on understanding the so that's a nice one.
Sure.
uh,
But
coming back to again another one, which